Hi, welcome back to another game of Steel Division. Today we're on the Russian side using the 126 watt YL Gornostrelkovy Corpus going up against the 4 Monty Romanian battle group. For the Axis, these are both infantry decks, and our first goal is to push into this little village here and then cross and take the bridge. On their end, capturing both these flags. We are setting up a little auxiliary force over on the right side, just going to set up a sniper team, a BT-7 light tank, and some machine guns. Over here, we're going to set up a machine gun onto this side, and this side as our infantry and tanks push along this center here. Then in the back line, we're just going to be setting up a bunch of rifle squads to just hold these points along this ridge in these towns. So we do spot and start to engage with the enemy. Looks like they've got some infantry getting ready to disembark. Got a recon sniper team and some pioneer squads. So we did manage to wipe out those infantries, and you notice that they didn't actually surrender when I sent my BT-7 up, and that's because they have the Raider trait, similar to our own infantry. Basically what that means is that it's separate from the main army body, doesn't suffer suppression when behind enemy lines. So they basically are harder to find, and they're less likely to surrender even if they're behind enemy lines like they were just then. But with that, we do manage to capture this side of the bridge, and we're just going to roll our BT-7 up. It's a pretty powerful light tank, well, not so much powerful, but it's quite fast, useful infantry support tank. It's got 85 speed while on the roads, and still 63 even on fields. It's just got a machine gun attached to it and a light cannon. Really good at cleaning up vehicles and infantry. The infantry that I'm bringing up are the Gornostrelkovy, which I think is a sneaky, something like that. They basically have 10 PPSHs, some smoke, and the Raider trait, so that they can actually get behind enemy lines and stay there for quite a while. Really good at close range, and the smoke lets it you be able to kind of make dashes into new areas without having to worry about becoming under fire. One of the interesting things about this particular battle group is the amount of units that have smoke grenades instead of your regular AT grenades or frag grenades. They actually have smoke instead. So I've set up another BT-7 on either end of this forest. They're basically going to stop anything from trying to push through this river here. And then we've also got some Gornostrelkovy with the DP variant. So these guys basically have 3 light machine guns. So they're very good at long range, just trying to keep the distance. If they do get a little bit too close, you've got some SVTs and PPS 43s. And then our commander with his frag grenades. our leader with his frag grenades. It's going to provide that extra XP bonus to our guys. Another couple of BT7s have moved up here. We basically just want to try to protect this side of the river. I noticed they had a few of their R35s. There's one there. Just another light tank. It's only got 30 pen though. Good at pushing with infantry, but it's not going to be able to do too much against my tanks. Over up on the hillside, I've actually brought up a couple of BT7s and some infantry. There's a couple more BT7s. Just kind of build up our forces here, so we can try to push and take this flag here. Light tank does spot theirs and it knocks it out. AT gun, some scouts, and some more infantry getting ready to help out. I've also brought up a light howitzer. It's going to start hammering into that infantry in the back there as we begin to make our push across the river. Yep, managed to get across there pretty safely with the help of that BT7 and our Gornostrelkovy. So you can actually see here they've got the 3 DP28s with 1.5 damage. Just some more reinforcements coming in. They're going to kind of come to the back end of this town and just hold that position. So we do spot some infantry and an MG back here. So we're just going to try to roll our BT7 around. You can just notice just how quickly it can reverse and then turn around. Normally you'd have to wait quite some time to maneuver a tank from here to here, but thanks to the speed it can just quickly get into position to help out your other flanks. A bit of a battle up in the air there. So just dropped the smoke there because we were out of range for them. Just trying to pull them back, bring up our Gornostrelkovy that can deal with their ranged units. And now BT7's now spotted them. The AT gun and the scouts set up in this forest here. It's going to stop any armor rolling down this way. And our smoke screen actually managed to stop that bomber from getting its bomber run. With the Yak 3 coming in. Quickly knocks out it. So both these battle groups actually do rely quite heavily on their air support. So you're going to notice quite a lot of bombers and fighters and tank busters coming in. And the problem is that both of these decks actually lack, or at least my deck, lacks AA defenses. So I'm relying heavily on my fighters to knock out their bombers. I don't actually have any anti-air support on the ground until phase C. So with these low cost rifle squads, we've got Moser Knights and Smoke, just kind of going into that theme of having units with smoke. And then our other rifle squads are these Morsk Pekotas. They've got Moser Knights, AT rifle, which is only really good at dealing with light armoured vehicles, and then a couple of light machine guns. Got some sappers. Basically just going to send them over to here, try to spot whatever's in there and take it out with its TNT, and then just try to hold this forest and knock out anything moving up or down this pathway. We've also got a light machine gun set up here. And you think that we're going to try to sneak through this forest, or this forest is going to run into him. And we're now bringing up some M3Ss. So this thing's got a dual cannon with 2 Brownings. Really good at dealing with infantry, running support. You can actually see the 2 cannons there, and then the dual machine guns there and there. So a pretty interesting looking tank. T7's just trying to keep them back. And I also noticed my ally isn't doing that great on his end, so I'm actually trying to build up some more defenses. In case they do break through, at least they can run into these sappers and they can try to hold them back. Got some more lighthouses coming up, so we can start to do our artillery barrages. So unfortunately our BT7s did get taken out by this Pack 40, so I'm just bringing in my air to deal with that. I also noticed my ally bringing up a bunch of M3Ss. Keep forgetting what that's called. Unfortunately, we do lose this fight here because I didn't actually target any of their planes. Our guys just kind of swept right past them, run into some flak fire as well. But we did knock out the Pack 40, so although it wasn't ideal to lose our Yak 3, our allies' armor is safe for now. Got some more reinforcements for my ally. I'm just gonna hold up in this forest. And we're bringing up an AT gun, which is gonna try to help deal with these recon vehicles that have just rocked up with our autocannons. Sappers starting to engage with some infantry. And we've got another... I noticed that I actually have no vision of this area, so before I make any significant push, I'm bringing up some scouts and some infantry with some, like just a regular rifle squad with a couple of light machine guns, and so they can kind of give supporting fire. Our yak comes in and knocks out their bomber. And you can actually see these Panzer IVs beginning to roll down this road. Luckily we did bring up this AT gun, so that's going to get set up and try to knock them out, and we're just going to start barraging them with our artillery. So it looks like they were trying to make a bit of a push over into this forest here, but they were unaware of our tanks lined up behind this forest. I'm trying to use this forest as a nice way to hide our units. They really can't spot us until they're too close. The scout units are actually pretty cool too. They've got 10 PPSHs, they've got radios and molotovs. The radios basically help with your artillery, so I'll just look over that. So it's equipped with radio, allowing it to call in improved artillery strikes. If both the spotter and artillery are linked through radio net, an artillery salvo called in within the former's radio range will be delivered more quickly and more accurately by the latter. So basically, he's got a radio, and if I look over at my artillery, they've got a radio. So basically, these guys link up with these guys, and when I use my artillery barrages, they'll be more accurate and a lot faster as well, because they know where to hit. Looks like our AT gun managed to knock out any armor that kind of pushed up here. It's actually run out of its APCR shells, which were doing 185 pen. It's now back down to 120. I didn't realize these leader squads actually have a Panzerschreck. Not only do they have a sniper rifle equipped, but they have a Panzerschreck. So my BT-7 tank unfortunately just got obliterated. I didn't realize because you can see him laying down with the sniper rifle, so I just assumed that it was a sniper team. Otherwise I wouldn't have brought in my tank there. So we've got the Yak 3, he's just coming in for covering support, while our P40N, it's got a 500 kilogram bomb. It's going to drop straight onto these guys. So we're doing a drop with our A20C Boston as well. Oh, we do lose our Yak though. And as we're trying to race our leader over, I think it ran into this Panzer IV, which took a shot at its vehicle, or maybe some infantry fire. So we just quickly dropped some smoke and raced over to the rest of our guys. I try to make use of the smoke all game. Nice. There's plenty of dogfights in this match, which is a lot different to a lot of my other matches. I haven't really used aircraft in a while, or to this degree. Normally I do like a bomber here or there. Did you see that? The dual hits, so the first cannon shot and then the second cannon shot, so it's like kind of within succession. I'm just moving a Sapper and Autosmasniki over. Sappers have the TNT, which is going to be very useful going up against any infantry that was hidden in here. I'm just going to try to bring up a M3S for support. Unfortunately, we do run into a recon vehicle, and since our battle group actually doesn't really have a lot of anti-tank, those recon vehicles are really good at just kind of taking out our infantry. And because they are recon, they can spot us in the forest without having to get too close. Allies done a really good job at pushing this back. We've actually managed to secure one of their flags as well. But we have lost this area due to these Panzer IVs back here. I've got a bunch of units that I've brought up here. They're basically going to be my push into this town over here, or these buildings over here. Just waiting till the rest of the map's a little bit more safer. So as the recon vehicle spots our infantry, drop some smoke, and then knock it out with the Hurricane. Just a good way of keeping areas under your control without having to sacrifice infantry. Since these guys aren't going to be able to do anything to their vehicles or armor, but as long as you can drop the smoke for cover and then hit them with your aeroplanes. Still not moving that just yet. We have lost this side of the river. Unfortunately, there's nothing we really have that can deal with the Panzer IVs. I should have brought up like an AT gun and just like kind of sat it on this roadway or over on this forest. But my focus was a little bit too much over on this side. Speaking of which, we're starting to bring up our forces and just laying down some artillery fire in where we think the enemy might be.
Вытащите меня отсюда! Санитар!
So with that, you can notice that our line is actually past the forest. So we can start to build up forces in here and get ready for our push over into these buildings here. We do have to be aware that there's probably units here and here that might be able to support this, the units that are in here. I've also started to build up a force of these KV-85s up on this hillside. I'm going to start rolling them down to deal with their armor. We've also got the leader squad. He's just going to be kind of hidden next to him.
Вытащите меня отсюда!
And we're just kind of moving up that AT gun. We want it to be able to deal with their armor.
Камарады, камарады!
Unfortunately, we are going to lose this town here. They just have too many forces, and I don't have enough resources to kind of support a defense here and a assault over here. So I'm just bringing up a couple more infantry squads. Basically what I want them to do is sit on this edge of the forest and provide supporting cover with their light machine guns as we start to push our infantry up along this ridge of the forest as well. because I know there's probably something in here, I decided to drop a off-map artillery strike, which is why I brought this vehicle in here. And now I'm going to start peppering the back of the town. We're trying to avoid actually hitting the buildings because we want our guys to be able to get into those buildings without them crumbling. So we're just kind of hitting around the outside of it with light artillery fire. It's a little bit difficult to film since I am pushing two different areas at the same time. These KV-85s are just slowly rolling down because we do want to recapture this flag here. So as we start to make our push, we actually noticed that they had a Panzer IV hidden back here. A nice shot by our M3S, takes it out. And with our AT gun, managed to knock that other Panzer IV out. There you have it. So we've taken this flag from them now. Got the skies covered with our Hurricanes and Yak 3 and our P40N, just waiting for a target to hit. And with the help of my ally bringing up these infantry units, we do regain control of this flag as well. We've set up our KV-85 so they can basically just spot and take out stuff from the side of this cliff. And we've got our third one down here with a sniper squad and recon squad set up, and our leader back here. It's giving that extra XP, making it pretty difficult for them to actually bring up any armor to try to deal with us, since we do have heavy tanks with our 125 frontal and 145 pen compared to their 135 pen and 75 frontal. So in a long drawn out long range battle, our KV-85 should be able to win each engagement. So as you can see, the town does now belong to them. but I set up enough units back here with my ally that we should be able to hold off. Also this KV-85 just moving over for support. Ally making a bit of a push with an ISU 152 assault cannon. That's going to be able to obliterate these infantry squads. You can see that just one shot knocks out about 5 guys, and they're just going to slowly push up and take that flag. So I've got some more reinforcements now, some M3Ss, and we've actually pushed over our Gornostrelkovy. So they've got a bunch of light guns with a light machine gun and anti-tank grenades. Perfect for pushing through forests and dealing with any armor. And they're going to be backed up by these light machine guns and motor knights on the Morsk Morsk Pechota.
Вижу противника.
We do lose one of our tanks as it's trying to roll in along, but our Hurricanes do come in and finish off that panzer. We're now getting ready to make our push onto this flag. So we've got some Gornostrelkovy pushing up with a KV-85 and some scouts. Also another KV-85 on the right side there.
Зацепили.
Хорошее попадание.
Вижу противника.
Молодец, наводчик.
So we're going to start making way for our push. Got the howitzers hidden along this ridge, along this forest. Some bombers coming in, hoping to hit whatever's in this forest still.
Этого. Боеприпасов не осталось. Это Сергей, цель замечена. В нас попали. Еще одно попадание, и мы трупы.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Panzer IVs do outclass our M3Ss.
Борис, ложись.
So as soon as they bring one over this hillside, it actually does knock us out. But we always follow up with our Hurricanes, so it's always a tank for a tank.
В нас попали.
Зацепили.
There we go. That's majority of the battle over here. We've pretty much taken control of this side of the cliff as well. They do have a Pack 40 though, which sneaks up and takes a shot at our KV-85. I do try to wheel him back, but yeah, a couple of good side shots managed to knock it out. Good thing I did bring up these other KV-85s though, so they're just going to replace them. And the P40N should be able to finish off that AT gun. Just in case it didn't, I'm just going to send over a sneaky squad. So they've got the 12 Thompsons instead of the PPSHs with some AT frag grenades. One of the other assaults that I'm about to begin is over on this left side. I've brought up some Gornostrelkovy, some scouts and a leader, and we're just going to roll up some armor before we just make this push over and try to take this flag.
Вытащите меня отсюда! Санитар!
I noticed I'm starting to bring up the tank busters to try to knock out our KV-85s that are defending this area. So I'm going to start trying to use my fighters to knock those planes out. They just surrendered. There we go. So that looks a little bit better, so you can actually see we've really taken control of this hill now. And we've also set up a line of our KV-85s. And we've set up a bit of a line here. And some forces there. So we shouldn't have any more difficulties controlling this this hill here, which is great because it means that we can actually start making a push over onto this left side now. The unfortunate thing is that they keep dropping these napalm planes onto our infantry, and without any AA to stop them. So our bombers just coming in for a bombing run.
Ответь, и сила меня задела. Впереди противник. Готовься к встрече. Осторожно. Заметь противника. Назад, водитель!
So I thought the bombing run would be enough. Unfortunately, it wasn't. They've actually got some MGs and an AT gun set up here, which is starting to really damage our infantry.
Больше не могу.
Ответь, и сила меня задела.
So we've got the light howitzers again with their barrage as we start to push up our armor, take advantage of them while they're
Борис,
pinned down.
ложись.
Охренеть. Боеприпасов не осталось. Я думаю, меня подбили. Охренеть.
Just missed our guys. There's my AA finally. So I just deploy 3 flat cannons to knock out that napalm plane, and our men are just starting to make their way up this cliffside with the support of our M3Ss. Yak takes out that secondary napalm plane, and that gives us the win. So we've got 6,290 kills to 2,220 losses. But thanks for watching.